Well, I'm not known for my repairing abilities so much as my lunacy, but needs must. Well, look who's back. Yes, just when you thought it was not possible to get any more vehicles in this garage, the 748 is home, finally. I will not bore you with the details because it would take 2 full episodes and it's mostly boring and very frustrating. Anyway, the timing belts have been done, the oil has been changed, the battery has been swapped out because my brand new one died apparently, and this one's the wrong size, so can't get the fairing on, and the fairing itself is damaged, so I need to sort that out. I need to sort the tail out on it, and I need to get it back to pristine. So that is going to take priority, but never you mind, because there's lots of episodes scheduled on all the other builds, so they will continue to happen. Yes, we need to be getting this ship shape and sadly ready for sale. I think it's my second 748. I love them dearly. They are, in my humble opinion, the most beautiful bike. Them and their bigger sister, the 916. This has all the right mods on it to make it very saleable, and one just went on Bring a Trailer for 15,000 bucks, more than. Yes, this is a sorrowful state that my lovely Ducati was returned to me in. A duct tape over the crack in the screen, a broken indicator, more scratches. This was the only damage previously on this fairing. Now we have all this. Yeah. And of course, we had that little nick, which happened in transit when it was delivered to me from Florida, not from Cottonwood. And I've got a new seat, as you may know or may not know, a mono Posto, and that, yeah, that's a little bit worse for wear. So, first job, I think, is to take the seat off, which is relatively easy. So we've unlocked it and latched it in its upright position. And we're going to disconnect these boys here. So that's that undone, just like the Augusta. And unfortunately, that new smoky single unit light that I put in, the wiring is here. So there, we're going to have to disconnect those as well. And then we'll just unbolt it from its latch, hopefully. So I've decided this is the best way to do it. You may have noticed there were 2 little rubber caps on the end of these plastic plugs. Having removed those, the plastic plugs, lugs, whatever you want to call them, slide out, as you can see. So I'm just going to pull those out, and then the whole seat will now come off because I've disconnected all the wiring. Cool. And there we have it. The seat is now free and over there on the bench. Good. So the rest of the procedure is fairly simple. After that, it's literally a question of undoing these, take off the main seat, and obviously the secondary seat is irrelevant, so that I'll leave in here. And this, the locking mechanism, is going to be the tricky part, if you like. Just getting it lined up. As you can see, there's a lot of adjustment available, and actually it didn't latch down very well before, so I needed to adjust it anyway. And of course we have to remove and replace the rear light into the new seat. So that's that. Yeah, I sound almost technically capable at this point, but then it's a fairly simple procedure, isn't it? Just, at least it bloody well should be. Okay, seat is now free, so that was those 4 bolts at the back, which are in the seat itself, as you can see here. And yeah, I took this front thing off as well, because that indeed is connected also. Yes, so I marked that up with a forward arrow. So that goes to the front. And yeah, now we just need to take the latch and the light off. There's the light, free, and things damage there. Yeah, it's so minimal on this. While I'm getting the panel resprayed, that one, yes, professionally repaired, I shall get them to hit that with a little bit of red paint. Yeah, it's quite heavy, that seat unit. It's amazing, and not surprising that I saved so much weight on the MV. Anyway, that's another project, but yeah, that's quite heavy. I wonder what the new one's like. Well, certainly lighter, I have to say, and very cool. And some really quality work, actually, out of China, I have to say. Very impressed with this. They even, I think I didn't order it with the white number sections, and they even emailed me once they'd created it and said, painter painted it wrong, do you want us to do it again? And I said, no, I kind of like that. So yeah, I forget who it was, but it's in my order history, obviously. But a nice piece. So all those holes seem to be in the right place. The interesting thing will be, where do we fit this? Yeah. Let's turn it upside down and have a look. There it is. Perfect. Okay, lovely. All right, so no problems. Sadly, what we don't have is the little meshy bits, which are really nice. In fact, that's one of the small mods that I made on my Triumph. I'll show you later. But I added some mesh to the exit grills on that seat. But this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, those bits there, they're really nice. I wonder, let's have a look. Really? We can probably get them out of there and put them on the new seat if we wanted to. Looks like they're almost velcroed. So I shall not necessarily use them, but I may make up my own. Because we have meshy bits lying around, although that's not the right stuff, but we do have it somewhere. Anyway, I'm under some time constraints, so I need to get a move on. Well, not quite my old China. So this is beautifully fitted in there. And these actually, let's get that out of the way. These actually coincide nicely with those little doofers in there. But these don't line up at all, as you can see. Although those do appear to be at an angle. Anyway, the original nuts, bolts are not long enough, they're not big enough. So that is going to require some modification. And this is going to have to have some nuts for starters on the other side. It all started getting complicated again, didn't it? It's supposed to be simple. Alright, come back to that bit. Let's try and fill this hole. That might be simpler. I think I should invest in one of those silly lights that you strap to your head, because this is just as silly, right? Yeah. Well, there it is with the seat and the light in place, although the light is just kind of wedged in there at the moment. So, yeah, two things to sort out. Whether I'm going to put mesh in here, and if I do I put it in there as well? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't do mesh. Yes, of course, the latch, which is connected to the light, which is connected to the seat unit, which is connected to the thigh bone. I have a cunning plan, though. See, this was about there, right? And this is assuming that the seat itself is the same length as the old one, etc., right? So that puts that there, right? That's the actual latch. So what if we put some posts and do it the other way round? Then one bolt will go into the seat unit, and the other nut and bolt, the original nut and bolt, will go back into the light fitting, which will hold that in place and also line everything up. Twice the adjustment on the nuts, obviously. So that'll be tedious. Tune in to the next episode to find out what happened. No. Gotta make my mind up now. So an alternative that I've discovered and thought about is to remove these altogether, not have this as part of the latch mechanism, so remove this device altogether, because these line up beautifully with these rear ones, and they have a what is it, a 6mm thread. So there we go. So that would tie that in beautifully, and then maybe the rear ones with a post and whatever would fit that in place. I think that's what I want to do, but I haven't got time right now. So we shall re-adjourn tomorrow. On the morrow, and by which time I will have taken the panel to the body shop, hopefully, and the seat, the old one. Anyway, get the general idea. It looks pretty nice, actually. I'm very, very pleased with this product. I haven't made that clear already. Yeah, so I'm going to just drop the backlight out and just see whether that latch is going to line up at all on those innermost bolts, which are about here, I think. Okay, backlights are dangling down there. Yeah. Ow! Smacked my hip into the garage door. So we need some light on the matter. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, do you? So you can't see as well as I can, but there's the latch, and those forwardmost points are way ahead, I think. Well, with some seriously vague approximate measuring, it looks like we've got about 8-10 mil, which we've got there. But then the actual thing itself has got to sit quite proud of that bottom base. I need to check the original seat again. But the posts that these screw into, and they're going to be bigger than these, obviously, because they have to screw through whatever spacer I use. You know, I mean, we're talking about that kind of length. Where are my spacers? Spacers, come on. Oh, yes. Yeah, so maybe something like that, you know? We've got some. See, I don't think that's going to do the job, which is a shame, because that's... Well, turns out my preferred posts work perfectly, just like that, with two lovely 6mm Allen bolts, actually from the Augusta. So they're two matching ones that I had, and they fit perfectly. So that's good. So that's the latch sorted out. Now we just need to sort out the light, which we've already worked out. Good to go. So we have extrapolated the rear light from the mount that included the latch. That latch. Actually, we haven't extrapolated it, we've extracted it. Yes, let's be correct about this. Anyway, it's going to need some grommets, and these are a little bit sorry for, yeah, that one's not bad, but that one obviously got mangled in the backlight conversion. So luckily we have a bunch of grommets. Yes. Well, this one looked perfect, but unfortunately we only had one. We did have two that were very, very similar. And again, I think they're from the Augusta because they got white paint on them. Yeah. So I shall be using those. They are period pieces and from Italy, because we like being period correct with restoration work. And yes, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. It's bloody cold. I've just put snow tyres on the FJ. Again, we need spacers. Yes. Luckily, I've got some. Yeah. Plastic. Nice. That'll do. Of course, what I haven't got is two 6mm bolts long enough. So there's the spacers. There's the bolts off the Honda, actually, I think. Which didn't work either. So got to get some bolts. Well, the good news is, I guess, we've got ourselves another project. The bad news is it's renovating my 748 after giving it to a dipshit called Derek, who trashed the bloody thing when all he was supposed to do is change the timing belts. Yes, today I took the fairing into a local body shop to see what they would charge to repair the minor damage, let's be honest. Yeah, few scratches and a little tiny chunk is probably too big a word. Anyway, anyone want to guess? No. 900 to 1100 bucks just for the fairing. Yeah. No. So I guess I'll be doing that myself, sanding it down and getting some proper 2K paint with the right paint code for Ducati, and yeah, that'll probably turn out to be a lot of hours and a lot of swearing, and I don't know, maybe 100 bucks. Or I could buy a new cheap replacement panel, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep it original. And of course, that's always option 2, should it all go horribly wrong. Yes. I could even do it like I did my old 748, but then it wouldn't be like original anymore. Though I do like that. It's nice, isn't it? Kind of cool. Well, I know this was supposed to be all about the seat, but we've come to a little bit of a roadblock there, and I've been cracking on with the fairing in terms of separating the top from the bottom. And that's held together with what appear to be rivets, except they're not. And what they are, I've found out, having struggled with a pair of pliers and just pushing the seemingly flathead screw type device on top. This guy seems to be perfectly round, right? But it's not. And I thought that was stupid. So I thought it must be a tiny Allen key that is required. And believe me, in that yellow box, they're like the size of a hair. No, it wasn't. I continued to struggle, and I got them all out regardless. And then it suddenly occurred to me. And on close inspection with my specs and magnifying glass, I discovered that there was definitely something in there. And I thought it was a star drive. Luckily, I had to buy this particular set of minute star drives because the number 16 is required to open up the key fob for a Maserati Ghibli. And luckily, I've got these because of that. And number 17 is, it turns out, required for getting these buggers off more easily. So that's what you need, guys. A number 17 star drive. Tiny. Ridiculous. Why not use an Allen key? Really? And the good news is my wife offered me these pots to keep little bits in just this very morning, being the helpful girl she is. So there we are. One panel of fairing connecting star drive screws, bolts, and that's for the seat. Yeah, so that's good. So the route I've decided to go with the fairing is to repair this as best I can and probably prime it and put it on eBay because it's genuine and I'm not going to be using it. What I'm going to be using is some carbon fiber panels manufactured here in the US by some very helpful people that I found on eBay, and I will be converting both bottom panels to carbon fiber, which will save some weight, as we know from our MV Augusta panel. Ludicrously light and very pretty. Well, it was before I scraped it down the road. Unfortunately, those panels are made to order. They had one side on eBay, which is how I found them. They're made to order 4 to 7 weeks, he said. So better get that ordering quick, which means I won't be doing anything at all really until February, I guess, which is disappointing, but there you go. Gives me plenty of time to clean the rest of it up. I've got to take this fairing off to replace the screen. I'm going to order that, just another clear replacement again, nothing fancy. Looked at some Irradian screens and I don't know. I think we'll just stick with stock. And those boys come into play again. Yes, there they are again. See? So there we go. Yeah, and plenty of cleaning to be done. Now you can see the extent of what a number Derek did on this, and yeah, it's not pretty, is it? They're fairly deep scratches. So yes, look. Thanks, Derek. So we've got our Bondo out, and I don't know what happened to the tin. I don't remember smacking it that hard with a hammer to seal the lid. I don't remember running over it, so I'm not quite sure what happened to that. Anyway, let's get on and do some Bondo. Normally I put way too much hardener in and it hardens off fairly quickly, so I'm desperately trying not to, because I want this to remain quite pliable, and because it's only little cracks it's got to fill. Bit of a snafu situation, despite my best efforts, so that's going off fairly quickly. But I did manage to spread it fairly thin on most of the areas, and that's going to require a little bit of clean up for sure. But built up that quite nicely. We'll probably need a second coat of Bondo on that. Thanks again, Derek. Well, I think this episode's dragging on a little, and we should probably call it a day right now. Quit while we're ahead. Well, actually, we're not. We're a little bit behind. So, I'm going to do just that. I'm sure we'll get things finished off in the next episode. I'll get the seat all bolted up and ready, and fairings and screens and carbon fibre panels, but that's going to be a while. So, thanks for watching. Do tune in again to see the result of what we've started, and subscribe if you haven't already. There's plenty of other projects to look at if you've just found us through the 748, and encourage others to watch my lunacy.